Hello everyone, welcome to the Al Razda channel. So today we're going to tell spoilers for episode 158 in the SwallowedStar series based on the novel story. Remember, this is just a novel version. If there are differences in the story in the series, please understand, guys. Okay, instead of being curious, let's watch the video until it's finished. After dropping Hong off from the restaurant, Luofeng returned to the Yunmo spaceship and headed straight to his training room to strengthen his strength. Long story short, after his training, Luofeng came out, and Dylan congratulated Luofeng for successfully rising to become an 8th level domain master. According to Luofeng's calculations, maybe 2 months in the future, he would also become a 9th level domain master. When Luofeng and Babata were in the Yunmo spaceship's control room, Babata was both happy and excited because this ship had been repaired to its maximum capability. Even with the Virtual Universe Company's technology, they also added its defense system greatly improved. But while Babata was excited, he also simultaneously remembered her master Huyanbo back then. And Babata looked at Luofeng while asking him for help to avenge that. Hearing this, Luofeng was touched and agreed to avenge Huyanbo's death. As Babata continued to stare at Luofeng, she recalled the first time he met Luofeng. At that time, she guided Luofeng to enter Master Huyanbo's ship and become his disciple. But at that time, Babata forbade Luofeng from finding out who the enemy that killed Huyanbo was at that time. But now, Babata saw the hope of revenge as Luofeng became a disciple of the Virtual Universe Company, not to mention already practicing in the Primal Secret Realm region. When examining the ship, Luofeng also sensed that this ship could block all mental energy or soul attacks from the outside, thus making this ship's safety very impressive. With this, Luofeng was determined that when he broke through the immortal level in the future, he would use Mosha mode to perform combination attacks with this ship. Luofeng's Mosha mode was immune to mental attacks, and this ship was as well, so mental and soul attacks would have no effect on his life. Then the next day, when Luofeng entered the virtual world and sat in his office, there was a message from the Virtual Universe Company. The content of the message explained that Luofeng had officially become the Supervision envoy of the Virtual Universe Company for the Qianwu Kingdom Department. So Luofeng's job was to supervise the military department, led by Ai Fu, the business department led by Zhen Qian, and the weaponry department led by Ji Tianchang. This message also conveyed that when Luofeng had broken through to the World Master level later, this mission would automatically be completed and rewarded with 100,000 points. It is said that during this surveillance mission, the Virtual Universe Company will also provide additional missions or special missions so that Luofeng can collect contribution points. Now, since Luofeng's placement mission had been sent by the Virtual Universe Company, it meant that the Qianwu Kingdom had also been notified. That way, Luofeng wanted to immediately meet with the leaders of the 3 departments. Not only that, but Luofeng's workspace was also placed in Qianwu country. This kingdom had tons of subordinate kingdoms and empires, and each region represented one kingdom or star field, like for example the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. As Luofeng was sitting in his office, various opinions began to emerge. Some were happy that Luofeng had managed to break through to the Domain Master level and become an envoy of the Virtual Universe Company. Then there were those who wondered why Luofeng was in such a hurry to break through, and there were also those who were unhappy with Luofeng's presence. The 3 leaders of Qianwu's 3 departments started arguing about their departments. They looked quite panicked because Luofeng had become the supervision envoy of the Virtual Universe Company. If Luofeng found evidence of a crime, then these 3 leaders could be dismissed at any time. They hoped that Luofeng didn't go too far to thoroughly inspect, as that would be detrimental to all of them. If that were to happen, they would inevitably have to silence Luofeng. Well, since they had learned that Luofeng was in the Qianwu Kingdom, the 3 department heads were going to hold a welcoming ceremony for Luofeng. The 3 argued about who wanted to prepare this welcoming ceremony. It was said the 3 department heads had a higher position than the 300 officials emperors. As such, Luofeng's position might automatically be higher than the head of the Ji family who belonged to the 300 officials emperors. Long story short, invitations to the welcoming ceremony have been distributed throughout the Qianwu kingdom, including the Ji family residence. At this time, Ji Tianchang was preparing to go to the welcoming ceremony together with her disciples and guards. An event of this magnitude is an event that will be attended by various important people in the Qianwu kingdom. Thus, Ji Tianchang would prepare well. On each invitation, it was written that each head of household could only bring 2 people. Therefore, Ji Tianchang brought one of her disciples and guards, and Ji Tianchang's disciple was named Ji Fenyan. She was a World Master level warrior and was the World Master warrior of the 100 World Master warriors in the Ji family. However, Ji Tianchang sighed and muttered. Of the entire Ji family lineage at this time, she was the only one who was an immortal warrior, while the others still remained in the World Master. As such, she hoped Ji Fenyan could break through to the immortal level soon. Although this was a high-level event, the news spread throughout the Qianwu kingdom. However, the scope of the invitation was limited. Only certain people were invited to this event. As such, many families whose heads of household were only World Master level were not invited to this event. Not only that, even ordinary immortal level warriors were not invited. The Welcome Day event was about to commence. At this moment, Luofeng came out of his training room and was preparing to leave for the event. After practicing for the past few months, Luofeng had finally managed to become a 9th level Domain Master level warrior. Meanwhile, Cloud Vine, or Rattan-Rubbed Cloud, only needed a few more days to break through to the World Master level. Then Luofeng and Dylan left together for the welcome ceremony. "When this event starts, your reputation will soar," Dylan said to Mr. Luofeng. Hearing that, Luofeng could only smile. Luofeng set off along with his guards and ordered a messenger to fetch Hong to attend the gathering. 3 days before the welcome event, the Qianwu department was very busy building a huge residence on the Jade Dome planet. They even moved the residents living there to another place. They named this residence Villa Luo, which also served as the venue for the welcoming ceremony. When Hong saw this residence, he was surprised that it was so luxurious. According to Dylan's statement, given that Luofeng was an envoy from the supervisor of the virtual universe company, his residence was expected to be comparable to that of 300 emperor officials. It wasn't long before Luofeng and Dylan entered the meeting. When Luofeng was entering the villa, the 3 department heads came over to him and immediately led him to enter. Since now was a busy time, Luofeng advised Hong to go into a private room first, and later he would call Hong with him. Luofeng felt the pressure coming from the various origin law powers. This was due to the arrival of numerous immortal warriors, all of whom hailed from formidable backgrounds. Qianwu's department also invited some people concerned with Luofeng, who were, for example, the king of the Black Dragon Mountain Kingdom and the leader of the 3-Axe Mountain Organization. At this time, a large number of invited guests from the higher-ups of the Qianwu Empire arrived. As such, Luofeng and the 3 department heads of the department welcomed the guests together. Among the guests, Luofeng was also reunited with the king of the Black Dragon Mountain Kingdom. He was a warrior who seemed quite powerful among immortals. He was usually referred to as the Black Dragon. When all the invited guests entered the main hall of this welcoming event, according to Zhen Qian's words, this Black Dragon Lord came from a relatively weak human race in the universe, namely from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. With his hard work, he was able to reach the pinnacle of strength at the immortal level. As such, he was called the ancestor of Black Dragon Mountain and formed an empire there. However, his strength was still below the average immortal warrior, so if he wasn't on good terms with Luofeng, he wouldn't have been invited to this welcoming event. After a while of waiting, Master Luo and Changbo's finally arrived at this event. Luofeng smiled and greeted Master Luo and Changbo, and he immediately directed them to their seats, because after this business was over, Luofeng would discuss the Hong matter with them. At this moment, there were a total of 1,000 invitations that had been distributed by the chief organizer. The last guest to attend was the head of the Ji family, Ji Tianchang. Luofeng smiled coldly at him and spoke words of praise, but there was a certain intent in those words. Then, Luofeng advised Ji Qing to take his seat immediately. Not long after, as the welcoming ceremony was about to begin, a host took the stage and introduced Luofeng. He stated that one of the Qianwu Empire's geniuses had demonstrated the most significant growth in strength among his generation in the realm of virtual universe cultivation. In fact, he was able to ascend to the primal secret realm region through a qualified battle path. Now, the young man is set to become the supervisory envoy of the virtual universe company in the Qianwu department. Each guest was intrigued and excited that this young man had made the Qianwu kingdom proud in the universe. "Who is he?" an immortal guest asked. "He is Luofeng," said Zhen Qian. Then, when his name was mentioned, Luofeng slowly climbed onto the stage. With the enthusiasm with which the host introduced Luofeng, how could it be that the immortal guests did not show similar enthusiasm? Under these circumstances, they must be trying to gain recognition from the three Qianwu department heads. Offending Luofeng meant offending all three department heads simultaneously. This could potentially lead to their expulsion from the grand event. Although in their minds these immortal guests looked down on Luofeng, they were unable to show it. Furthermore, they were aware that Emperor Zhen Yan served as Luofeng's master. Then, when Luofeng's introduction and welcome ceremony was over, the three department heads and Luofeng came down from the stage, and the guests began to enjoy their meal. While enjoying the meal, one of Ji Qing's guards saw Hong, and she immediately reported this to Ji Qing. Ji Qing immediately looked at Hong. She didn't understand why the event organizer gave this invitation to the warrior without any clear origin. Ji Qing furrowed her brows, and she had to make Ji Qing give up on the relationship with Hong and ordered Ji Fenyan to do whatever she liked, or even kill that brat Hong. At this moment, Hong's presence is just like an ant to them and can be destroyed at any time. "Stay here. I will find Luofeng to drive Hong away," said Ji Qing. "All right," replied Ji Fenyan and her guards simultaneously. When he saw Ji Qing walking towards him, Luofeng ordered one of his messengers to pick up Hong, and then told Hong to shout at Luofeng's name in the crowd. That way, Ji Qing and the guests knew that Hong had a relative with a background that could not be underestimated. In just a few minutes, Ji Qing chatted with Luofeng like a very close person, and it seemed that Ji Qing was pretentiously close to Luofeng. They talked about things about their lives. On the other hand, the messenger Luofeng ordered earlier had arrived near Hong and told him Luofeng's plan just now. Hong understood and walked out of the room. Entering the main room, Hong saw a wide variety of invited guests, and they were enjoying the dishes that even the immortal warriors were trying to get their hands on. This was truly a luxurious banquet. On the other hand, Ji Fenyan stared at Hong and wondered how that brat could possibly get into a high-class event like this. Hong kept walking and looking for his third brother's whereabouts. And a moment later, when he saw Luofeng, who was chatting with Ji Qing, Hong suddenly shouted out as the third brother. Hong's voice echoed throughout the main room. With that, Ji Qing, who was chatting, suddenly stopped and looked at Hong. Likewise with Luofeng, he showed a faint smile on his face. Suddenly, Ji Qing did not expect that Luofeng's older brother was Hong. Ji Qing had previously investigated Hong's background, but he found no connection to Luofeng. Ji Qing was unable to uncover the relationship between Hong and Luofeng due to its non-publicity. Since Hong is his sworn adoptive brother and they don't share any DNA, their relationship can remain well hidden. Then Luofeng turned around and looked at Ji Qing. Since Ji Qing already knew this, Luofeng seemed to be straightforward. He said that he actually didn't want to interfere in his brother and Ji Qing's relationship. But Luofeng wanted to listen to Ji Qing's explanation about her not approving of the relationship. Hearing that, Ji Qing looked back at Luofeng and sighed as she spoke. She explained that Ji Qing was a genius who was born into the Ji family in 1 trillion years, and she was a master mental hypnotist. Luofeng was astonished upon hearing this. She was well aware that becoming a hypnotist was a rare and challenging skill to master. However, if it had reached a high level of understanding, then a hypnotist could defeat his opponent easily. Ji Tianchang continued. That was how Ji Qing was accepted by the Universe Mercenary Alliance as their core member. As was known, the Universe Mercenary Alliance was one of the 5 powerful corporations that existed in this universe. Becoming a core member was the dream of many warriors in the universe. As a hypnotist, Ji Qing could very easily read a person's characteristics. This way, Ji Qing could judge a person well. Actually, Ji Tianchang didn't mind Hong and Ji Qing's relationship because she didn't care much about that little matter either. As long as Ji Qing was willing to practice, she would still approve of it. However, the problem was that it was Ji Qing's master, Phantom Spirit King, who didn't like Ji Qing and Hong's relationship. Hearing that, Luofeng was stunned because this emperor's name had been mentioned by his master, Emperor Zhenyan. Previously, Emperor Zhenyan had explained that there were several other warrior names that could compete with him, namely the Skyfeather Emperor, and Phantom Spirit King was one of them. Phantom Spirit King was from the Universe Mercenary Alliance, and she was one of the most terrifying immortal emperors. Although she could only make it past the 19th level of the Heavenly Bridge, his understanding of the origin law was no joke. However, when comparing his strength to Emperor Zhenyan and the Celestial Feather Emperor, Phantom Spirit King was 1 level below. Even so, what made him terrifying was his hypnotic technique. It was that technique that made him on par with Emperor Zhenyan and the Celestial Feather Emperor. Not only that, she also had tons of slaves at the immortal level, namely 79 immortal generals and immortal kings, and 2 immortal emperor slaves. This slave seal was much more powerful than the Huyanbo master. He had the power to enslave even immortal emperors. With such a large army of immortal slaves, she made her reputation and position famous in this universe. Even Emperor Zhenyan would think twice about antagonizing or fighting with Phantom Spirit King. Ji Tianchang continued, pointing out that Phantom Spirit King had several disciples. However, all of these disciples, despite having lived for a very long time, had never had a romantic relationship in their lives. Hence, this situation was quite troublesome, as Ji Qing was in the Phantom Spirit King's guidance. Apparently, the Phantom Spirit King had never had a partner in his life. Therefore, she didn't want her disciples to experience a romantic relationship. Then, the day the Phantom Spirit King found out about Ji Qing and Hong's relationship, she immediately asked Ji Tianchang about it. This action led Ji Tianchang to promptly assess Ji Qing's energy level. Fortunately, Ji Tianchang was still able to sense Ji Qing's pure energy, indicating that Ji Qing had never engaged in sexual relations with Hong. With this news, Phantom Spirit King calmed down a bit. Therefore, Ji Tianchang couldn't let this relationship happen. Ji Tianchang didn't want to lose the opportunity. Therefore, he tried hard to keep Ji Qing under Phantom Spirit King's care. As an immortal emperor, Phantom Spirit King was definitely the right master for her. After listening to the explanation from Ji Tianchang, Luofeng finally understood this matter, and it seemed to be getting more and more complicated. Then Luofeng looked around the banquet and didn't sense the presence of a single warrior of immortal emperor level. However, under the Phantom Spirit, King's control were 2 immortal emperors. Even though it was his own master who had 1 level stronger strength, Emperor Zhenyan wouldn't be able to make Phantom Spirit King bow and obey to his words, and they were also in a different faction. Luofeng furrowed his brow and thought hard on how to resolve this matter. In the distance, Hong saw the conversation between Luofeng and Ji Tianchang. He was very curious as to how it would turn out. At this moment, Hong, Dylan, Master Luo, and Changbo watched in the distance as Luofeng returned to them. Luofeng showed a complicated expression. That way, Hong knew that there was something that didn't look good going on. "How was it?" asked Hong. Then, Luofeng explained that the one who did not approve of the relationship was not Ji Tianchang, but Phantom Spirit King as Ji Qing's master. Then Luofeng continued to explain about Phantom Spirit King to Hong and the others. After listening to Luofeng's explanation, Master Luo tapped Hong on the shoulder and suggested just giving up immediately. From what they heard from Luofeng, Phantom Spirit King wouldn't make his disciple have that kind of relationship. That meant Ji Qing wouldn't belong to anyone. Changbo also suggested the same thing to Hong. After hearing that, Hong looked up at the sky and smiled. There are some things we have to give up, but there are also some things we have to gain. Then Hong asked Luofeng for a final favor, which was to meet him with Phantom Spirit King just once. Hearing that, Luofeng, Dylan, Master Luo, and Changbo were both surprised and dumbfounded by Hong's request. Luofeng furrowed his brows and said to Hong that this was a bit heavy, as he also didn't have any connections to meet the Phantom Spirit King. However, Hong reassured Luofeng by saying there was no need to rush. Hearing that, Luofeng nodded his head. "All right, I'll do my best," Luofeng said. During the ceremony, Luofeng was seen approaching Ji Qing. He asked Ji Qing for help to send a message made by him. Of course, if Ji Qing did not believe him, Ji Qing was also allowed by Luofeng to see the contents of the message. However, since Ji Qing respected Luofeng, who was the genius of the Virtual Universe Company and the disciple of Emperor Zhenyan, Ji Qing didn't mind that. The content of the letter conveyed that Luofeng, as Hong's younger brother, wanted to ask Phantom Spirit King to take the time to meet with Hong. Hearing the content of the message, Ji Qing looked at Luofeng and said, "Are you sure you really gave your brother's neck there?" asked Ji Qing. "I have to help him," said Luofeng firmly. With that, Ji Qing had no other questions and would relay this message to Phantom Spirit King. Luofeng could actually use his master's reputation to meet with Phantom Spirit King. However, he didn't want to do that, as this wasn't too big of a deal. Otherwise, Luofeng's meeting with his master would result in a loss of face. Well, Ji Qing directly sent a message to Phantom Spirit King right away. "I've dispatched the message, and I'll inform you as soon as Phantom Spirit King gives his approval. If not, it has nothing to do with me," said Ji Qing. Then, Ji Qing gave his virtual ID to Luofeng so that he could later contact Luofeng in the virtual world. Long story short, the welcoming ceremony finally ended, and a few days later it was seen that in this Luo villa, Luofeng met his brother, who was sitting pensively in the basement. Hong finally understood why the Ji family had been treating him like that. It was because of the Phantom Spirit King. Hong seemed a little calmer than before, knowing the reason for all this before. He will try his best. If that is not enough, he is determined to become a stronger warrior than Phantom Spirit King. If that day came, he would bring Ji Qing to his side himself. Luofeng was initially surprised to hear the thing about Hong wanting to be stronger than Phantom Spirit King. Those words seemed a little arrogant, but judging from Hong's confidence, it wasn't impossible. After all, every strong warrior in this universe had the same beginning and process, from weak to strong. If one does not stop and continues to progress, even the power above the immortal emperor can be achieved. Then, while they were chatting, there was a sudden message from Ji Qing that Phantom Spirit King agreed to meet with Hong and Luofeng. Hearing the news, Hong looked excited and happy. Long story short, a few days later, a disciple of the Phantom Spirit King picked up Luofeng and Hong and brought them to the Phantom Spirit King's residence in the Qianwu Empire. Then, they finally arrived at the Phantom Spirit King's residence, and it seemed that this residence was very large and majestic. The residence had 9 levels, and in each level there was an illusion that one could get trapped inside. However, with Luofeng's mental strength and Hong's calmness, these illusions meant nothing to them. "Greetings, Master," said the disciple of the Phantom Spirit King. Then, Luofeng and Hong saw in front of them a woman with purple hair sitting on a platform there. She was the Phantom Spirit King, who was a woman. Then, Hong and Luofeng bowed in respect together. It could be seen that Phantom Spirit King recognized Luofeng's mental strength, and she was also a disciple of Emperor Zhenyan. And as it was known, Phantom Spirit King was very fond of young talents with strong mental states. Not only that, he also seemed interested in Hong. In terms of composure, Hong far exceeded Luofeng, hence, Hong was very calm this time. "Are you the Hong that Ji Qing asked Phantom Spirit King so much about before?" Hong replied. "That's right, I'm Ji Qing's lover, Hong." And that's the spoiler for episode 158 of the SwallowedStar series. Okay, thank you very much for watching until the end. The last word from me, bye.